This is the true story of two men who led very different lives and how each of us are like each of them in many ways. We all have a place in life that we are and a place that we want to be. The gap between those two places is often great and seemingly insurmountable. It's important to know in this story that these two men are the same age, have identical backgrounds, and were presented the same opportunities in life. One man spent 13 years in federal prison for armed robbery and racketeering. Dropped out of high school, was an alcoholic, a drug user. He was divorced by his wife and abandoned by his son. He was a habitual criminal who blamed everyone for his circumstances. The other man, well educated with multiple advanced degrees, happily married, solid family life, beautiful homes in the mountains of Colorado and the beaches of Maui. In 5 years, he built an Inc. 5000 company to $20 million in revenue from scratch. He's a best-selling author, a man of integrity with meaningful relationships and a zeal and passion for life. Now, how did these two men end up in such different places if the circumstances were exactly the same? Why does one man create that type of happiness and the other struggles in almost every area? We all know that a person's environment and their associations play a major role. There's plenty of evidence that genes and circumstances have a real impact. Maybe the first fella just never got a lucky break, didn't read the right books or attend the right seminars, had a tough childhood or lousy parents. Here's the reality and the irony. Both of the men described are actually the exact same person. Now, after being released from prison, Weldon Long took 5 years to create the second story. I met Weldon just months after his release and have seen his whole story unfold. If you want to know more, you can read his book, The Upside of Fear. But what he discovered is the common denominator, the secret sauce, if you will, and it's the shortest path to massive success in every area. The robust health, the strong finances, the stable and fulfilling relationships, and I can almost guarantee it's probably not what you think. In this free 3-video series, you're going to learn exactly what this incredible common denominator is, the function which controls it, and the 4 steps to create it in your own life. Whether you want to move mountains or do something relatively small like lose weight. It's why people struggle to bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to be. Their dream life, if you will. Are you ready? Now, it's going to sound ridiculously simple, easy, basic, but it's belief. And I mean real belief. I mean a certainty kind of belief. It's the kind of belief that the majority of people have never experienced in their lives, except perhaps their belief in things like gravity. The average person does not have that kind of belief or certainty around the things they can personally achieve in their life. We will believe in our ability to cook dinner, drive to the store, get a good job. But do you honestly, truly, and unequivocally, without reservation or doubt, believe that you can do and have the time, the finances, love, relationships, freedom, health, fitness that you want? That is the belief that we're talking about. Maybe you want to be an internet guru marketer or become a dynamic leader of people. Maybe you want to be in great physical shape, an Olympic athlete, travel the world with someone you love. You want to have incredible family you can be proud of, or the freedom to choose when you wake up every day and the finances necessary to do that. Maybe you just want to be debt-free. Ultimately, you want to be really, truly happy. And it is easier to accomplish than you might think. Now, you probably already know, or at least you've heard of the role that your thoughts play in your life. Marcus Aurelius said a man's life is what his thoughts make of it. Nurture your mind with great thoughts, said Benjamin Disraeli. Ralph Waldo Emerson said a man is what he thinks about all day long. Wallace Waddell said man cannot shape a thing until he has thought that thing. King Solomon said as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And Gandhi said man often becomes what he thinks himself to be. Buddha said that all we are is the result of what we have thought. And Paul J. Meyer, one of my personal mentors, said the climate I create through my thoughts and my attitude is the only environment I will ever live in. William James, you're getting the idea, right? He said the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. And James Allen said that the vision that you glorify, the idea that you enthrone in your heart, this you will build your life by, this you will become. Now here's the rub. These are some of the greatest people in history, and you can listen to that. You can agree that thoughts dictate your life, and that most powerful story you'll ever hear is the story that you tell yourself about yourself, that little voice in your head. But how can you gradually and consistently create new thoughts that empower you to change your life? This is where everybody struggles, and it's not enough to write down goals. Lots of people talk about what it takes to create belief, to visualize, to envision the idea of self that they want to be. But really, have you ever been given a set of clear steps or handed a system that will walk you through exactly what to do every day? A paint by numbers, clear as day system in a box. But we'll get to that. Look, the paradox of belief is that you must first see yourself as the person you want to become. Then you will become the person you have seen. This is the fast track to achieving your dreams and goals, regardless of the obstacles. Think about it. If you knew you could not fail, would it affect your attitude and your enthusiasm while you were in the process of achieving your goals? Of course it would. You'd be fired up. You would be excited to be on a journey to such a magnificent future. The peace and happiness, the freedom, the finances would all be a foregone conclusion in your mind. Failure wouldn't bother you at all because you knew what your destination was going to be. So, if an I will not be denied belief system will attract into your life all that you need to succeed, then how do you get it? You can desire something great, but conviction and certainty trump desire every time. Now here's the big question. How do you create this belief system that will help you to achieve your goals that you desire? The best explanation I've ever seen was in the book The Answer. It spelled out the power of the non-conscious brain. In that book, the authors clearly established that the subconscious or non-conscious mind makes up 83% of the brain's mass. It reacts over 750% faster than your conscious mind. It processes 200 million times more data per second. Now think about this. You have a conscious thought. It remembers infinitely more than your conscious mind. Most importantly, over 95% of your perception and your behaviors are controlled by your subconscious. Aristotle said excellence is not an act but a habit. Therefore, we are what we repeatedly do. It's your habits, it's your behaviors that control everything, and that's driven by your subconscious. Have you ever ended up at home in your driveway and you intended to go by the store on the way home? Your subconscious handled the whole thing. You may have set a goal to go to the store, but setting goals is a function of the conscious brain. Reaching them is a function of the subconscious brain. There is an important part of our subconscious mind called the Reticular Activating System. It's one of the first developed parts of the brain. The RAS is a network of nerve pathways at the base of the brain which connects the spinal cord, the cerebellum, and the cerebrum. You don't have to understand too much of that, except to know that its purpose is to act as a filter for everything that enters your senses. At a subconscious level, it controls what information is allowed to pass to your conscious mind. You can't directly control it, but you can train it over time. You train your RAS through your awareness and your habits. That is why what you focus on expands, good or bad. The RAS is the gatekeeper to you and to your mind, and therefore your dreams and goals, and ultimately the quality of your results. If you haven't trained your subconscious to look for opportunities to help achieve your goals, you may well simply never see them as they pass right in front of you day after day after day. Your subconscious brain, properly trained, will do a far better job than you could ever consciously do of picking the books that you need to read, choosing the people to meet, planning your day, acting on the right opportunities. That's why working hard is not enough. The how-tos are not the answer. It's the story you tell yourself. Most people who truly want to improve the quality of their life begin at the wrong place. They start by studying the process, the how-tos of success. They engage in all the peripheral activities instead of programming the subconscious and the RAS to help them find a solution. You see, if you were a farmer, would you turn the soil, pull the weeds, water, cultivate, fertilize, and then simply prepare to harvest without planting the seed? Of course you wouldn't. This so often is what we do in our lives. We prepare our minds for success. Maybe we want success. We set goals. We might even read the books, prepare the soil of our mind, yet we fail to plant the seed properly. It's not enough to work hard on yourself, or at least it's a far slower process. Going about it in this fashion has left many people disillusioned and frustrated, never seeming to get ahead and constantly struggling to break free and create real success. Imagine you've been earning $50,000 a year. Your parents earn $50,000 a year. Most of your friends earn the same. You have a goal to earn $100,000 a year, but your subconscious holds a picture firmly in place that you are a $50,000 a year person. So even if a $1 million idea comes by, your reticular activating system would pass on it. That is the power of the subconscious mind. It's why thousands of people set goals, and many even read them over and over without fully benefiting from the effort. If every time you thought about or reviewed your goals, you simultaneously questioned its inevitability, you may actually be doing more harm than good. It's the reason that affirmations have gotten a bad rap at times. If you could find a way to really believe in the affirmation, you could change your life. If you really knew how to program your subconscious mind and understood that it is the most powerful tool that you have ever had and will ever have at your disposal, then the world is your oyster. Time, freedom, health, finances, relationships, travel. If the beliefs that you currently hold are not working for you, what do you do to change them? In the next video, we'll introduce you to a simple and powerful daily organizational goals achievement program that with very little time and money, you can create a $1 million belief system. A belief system that will propel you forward in every area of life.